is officially Thanksgiving week. It's gonna be a quiet week at work, and therefore I think it is the right week for me to start on a little project, which is CAIN'S Jawbone. So if you're on TikTok, you have certainly seen this before, and it's a little sleuthing opportunity for me. So basically, the tagline here is, if James Joyce and Agatha Christie had a literary love child, this would be it. The world's most fiendishly difficult literary puzzle. This was written in, 1934 by Edward Poise Mathers. His pen name at the time was Torquemada. And basically it is a murder mystery that is intentionally not written in the correct order. The whole puzzle of it is to figure out the right sequencing of pages based on just what you've read in the book. And I think there's only been like a handful of people who have ever figured it out since 1934, so it's been nearly a century. Originally, I think the prize was like 15 pounds, and now if you solve it correctly by December 31st, 2022, you will win 350 pounds. So I have a little over a month to figure out my solution and send it in. And I thought that this might be a fun puzzle for me to be working on over the holidays. Since Thanksgiving week is pretty quiet at work, I'm not traveling. I thought that this could be a good time to do my initial read. So tentatively right now, my plan of attack, if you will, is to read through it first. Then I think I need to start making some notations. And it also, I think, is designed, if you can see that, to have the pages like cut out to work on the solution and like move them around. So this is a book that is meant to be destroyed, basically, and I want to see if I can become one of the handful of people who have ever successfully figured this out. I have seen this on TikTok and on YouTube. I know I'm not the first person to do it, but I do like a puzzle, and I do love Agatha Christie / old-timey murder mysteries, so this feels like it is right up my alley and a lovely little activity for my holidays. So wish me luck as I embark on this journey. Okay, I've been working on this for 3 weeks now. I've got this tab to hell for color coding purposes. Different things mean different things. I have done a lot of research on all of the references. I've done lots of translation. I've put in a lot of hours to this, guys, and I am currently convinced that there is a certainly a less than 1% chance, but I'm gonna put it at less than 0.0 0.001% chance that I will solve this thing because this is incredibly dense. Now I will say, in terms of like review of it as a book, I kind of am obsessed with it, especially the more I read it and the more I research all the references and stuff, because it reads kind of like a murderous stream of consciousness novel. Like think murdery Virginia Woolf is kind of the vibe, and I am here for that. So even just it, aside from trying to solve it as a reading experience, I would give like 4 stars too. There's so much going on. I think I have put together some of the key bits that I need to figure out. So I guess from this point on, I don't know if these are spoilers or not, because I don't know if I'm right or not, but I'm gonna give you some spoily directions potentially that this could be going in. So I think so far I've already identified 4 narrators, and I think that there are more. I'm gonna guess that there's 6 to 8 different narrators. So there's that. There's also oblique references to time throughout this. So I think that's going to be important in terms of like ordering things. And there's also like key commonalities that I'm noticing. So like clearly one narrator is into these Egyptian cigarettes. That's a thing. There's one narrator that's very focused on tea. Sometimes they give you like a little clue as to what their name is, and when you go and look it up, you can figure out who the name is. The other thing that is dominating in this is Henry. Henry is everywhere, and he seems to be very different from page to page or from reference to reference. I think I saw somebody say that there's like almost 60 references to Henry in here. At one point, I'm pretty sure he identifies himself as one of our narrators because somebody mentions like, people call me Hal, which is a nickname for Henry. So there's that, but I am also, okay, again, spoilers if you don't want to hear this. I'm also like somewhat thinking that Henry might be a dog. At least here's part of what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if there are multiple Henrys. I'm wondering if there's a human Henry, a dog Henry, and maybe something else. But I don't know what else. Because sometimes the way Henry is used, it seems like Henry might be an object, but I can't figure out what kind of object. I don't know. I think I've identified 3 Henrys, basically. I think there's a human Henry, I think there's a dog Henry, and then I think there's some kind of object Henry. So that's as far as I've gotten from my observations, having now read this probably 5 or 6 times and doing all of the research and annotations and stuff. That's some of my observations. I have, I think, identified at least a couple of the victims and who, in some cases, who killed them. I've also started making some notes on like how people are related or connected. So I've got that. I think I'm now officially ready to dissect the book. So I'm gonna cut the pages out. Say a prayer for me, I don't know how I'm gonna do that. And then I'm also going to start watching some TikToks and some videos because unless someone, only 4 people have ever solved this. So I think getting any help I can is fair game at this point because this is so fucking hard. This is so effing difficult to do. So I think any help that anybody wants to get is fair game. And I only have like 3 or 4 days left at this point. So I gotta kind of get to getting. But anyway, I'm gonna take that down, that picture. That's gonna become my murder wall. Start cutting the pages out. And I have made some page connections, I will say. There are some that you can definitely order because there's a quote that runs from one page into the next. So when you look up the quotes, you figure that out. So anyway, I'm gonna start grouping this by like, I don't know, references to Shakespeare, references to the Barrett Brownings, references to Alexander Pope, people who speak French, people who speak Greek, people who speak Latin, I don't know. We're gonna start trying to make some connections here. So let's start prepping our murder wall, and I will also allow myself to do some viewing of other people's attempts. Let's see if I can cut these pages out. I'm defeated. I'll give you guys the full skinny tomorrow when I have some more brain cells, but I can't, it's not gonna happen. And I just need to make my peace with that. So I saw on the CAIN'S JAWBONE subreddit, yes, there is a whole subreddit, that they're gonna run the contest again next year. I don't think that there's a cash prize. I don't think I could win the cash prize, so that's kind of a moot point. But I think I'm gonna officially say that I'm not gonna complete this in 2022. So we'll regroup tomorrow and talk about what I think I have figured out. Yeah, I know, but I'm mad too. And we can just go from there. So I'll talk to you guys later when my brain has somewhat recovered from staring at this GD wall of paper. Okay, friends, let's talk about this. So here's where we're at. I'm not ready to submit a solution because there's so many open questions still, and I have made some progress, but I'm not ready to submit a solution, so I'm gonna just keep working on this throughout the year. Let me give you an update on what I think I figured out based on my own stuff and based on shamelessly reading thoroughly the CAIN'S JAWBONE subreddit. Also, there's this really cool mind map I found that was helpful that somebody put together. So some of this is stuff I figured out, some of this is stuff I got from other people. I'll let you know if I remember which is which, but anyway. So, spoilers if you don't want that. Over here, over on this side of the wall, I have the ones that are in present tense. That's most of what is over here, as well as some of the pairs of pages I have matched up that I don't know whose point of view they're in yet. So I have confirmed through like the poem that continues from one page to the next which two pages go together, but I don't know for sure yet whose point of view it's in. There's a couple of these matching pages where I had figured out from one of the pages who the point of view was. So in that case, I have put them over in this section, which is the different points of view. So right now, I am counting 7 points of view that I can discern. I've got one for Alexander. I've got one for Clement, who is my biggest one so far. I've got Oscar. I think there's a point of view called Death, D-E'-A-T-H. And then we've got John Walker. And then, where's the other one? Henry. Then we have Henry's actual point of view, because he says his name, people all call him Hal. Hal is a nickname for Henry. Okay, so however many points of view that is, I figured those out. I frankly think I'm still missing at least one, but I'm not confident. Then over here, all the way over here, we have the pages where I have a clear idea what day it happened on. Most of those I figured out by looking, once I figured out that there was a book of, I think it's called the Book of Common Days. There's these references and all of them point to a single day. So like for instance, well, I can't find it, but there's a page that had Eugene, Sue, and Jeremy Taylor on it. And when I looked that up, they were both on the same page of the Book of Common Days, and that's when I was like, oh, I've seen this sometimes in my other Google searches, I bet this is the key, and then the subreddit told me, yes, that is right. So I've got that. Then I've also started doing some groupings and making some assumptions. So like for instance, I know one of the points of view likes a certain brand of cigarette, and it's an Egyptian cigarette, so I have started assuming any references to Asian or Middle Eastern cigarettes belong to that point of view. There's also a bunch of references to the Calabar bean, which is a kind of poison, and different names that it goes by. I don't know whose point of view that is yet, but I'm going to assume once I figure that out that all of those references belong to that person. So, you know, I've made some progress. Like I have a lot of little things like that. Like I figured out whose point of view something was because they kept talking about Lover's Delight, which is a kind of sundae. So like I've made some progress there. The problem is, while I'm fairly, like I've made actually some decent progress on who killed who, I still have a couple of question marks, like I have a victim, but not a whodunit for a couple of them. In terms of putting these pages in the correct order, that is where I'm like, how? So what I have surmised is that at some point in your CAIN'S Jawbone journey, you will very clearly see different storylines popping out. And it's like, it's kind of like a Monet situation where I'm too close right now and I can see the shapes, but I can't tell that they are like a water lily. That's where I'm at right now. And I need more time to step away so that I can see the full picture. That's the problem, is I think I'm decently in a pretty good place of seeing a lot of the pieces. I just don't see the full picture yet. And so this is so freaking hard, but if you like this kind of puzzle, this is amazing. And I do think, so I like a traditional jigsaw puzzle. I think the next time I'm kind of like between, I think what I'm gonna try to do for the next year is whenever I'm between puzzles, jigsaw puzzles, I'm gonna take a day where I would normally work on the puzzle, work a little bit more on this. So I'm gonna try to like chip away at it. And then I think next Christmas, I'll take another like really concentrated stab at it. But this is super fun. I also, like I think I mentioned when I was doing just a review of it as a book, it does have this weird stream of conscious quality to it that's like strangely really wonderful. So if that's something that's interesting to you, I also recommend this for people who like that and you want like a murder stream of consciousness book from the 30s. I actually think this is pretty great for that. So yeah, now I've got to figure out how I'm gonna pack this up so that I don't lose my progress. I think I need to make some notes for future Mara about what different colors mean and different tabs mean, but I didn't solve this, but I'm not giving up because you cannot break my spirit. What's this dude's name? Torquemada. You can't, oh, I just realized I've not looked up what that means. I wonder if that's a clue. Okay, because CAIN'S Jawbone I do think is a clue. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this failed vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you've tried to solve this before. Let me know if you've got any tips about other sources I can go for help. Let me know if you're interested in trying this. I definitely would recommend it. I've had it, when I've brought this up in the past, a few of you have mentioned that you're doing it with a friend. And I do think that this would be a really good collaborative, like, puzzle or game to do with someone. So with all that said, hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias if you are so inclined. I have all that information listed in the description box below. And I think that will do it. I hope you're having an absolutely lovely day today, and I will just talk to you soon. Bye!